Hello guys, ItsHypers here. Today I'll be making a video on how much Ditto farming makes in 2025. After the Halloween update, the admins made catching Dittos a bit more annoying than they used to be. Before the update, it used to be like a 95% catch chance with the whole Vaporeon netball method. Although after they patched the netballs not working on transformed Dittos, you have to go back to dusk balls and repeat balls, which turns the 90 to 95% catch rate down to like 65. This made a lot of people quit Ditto farming altogether, although recently I've been getting back into it and I'm here to say that it's not as bad as people said it was. So in this video I'm going to do a 1 hour test catching Dittos to see how much it makes after the netball nerf. The method I'll be using in this video is the safety goggles Smeargle method. I saw this method on a chicken pasta video. I'll link his video in the description if you want a more in-depth guide on how to do this. Although the method is really simple, you just get a level 100 Smeargle with safety goggles on it with the two moves False Swipe and Spore. I do also recommend that the two other moves on your Smeargles are non-damaging moves, or at least non-KO moves I guess. This is simply because sometimes when the Dittos transform they do hit you back, and if your Smeargle only knows False Swipe, there's no chance that the Dittos will kill your Smeargle. So if you have a Smeargle that owns like Strength or something, or Super Fang, you might want to buy another one just for Ditto farming. With that being said though, I'm just going to go through a quick guide on how to do it, and then I'm going to start my 1 hour grind. The place where you farm Dittos is in this small house outside of Full Arbor. To enter this location at all, you do need to complete Hoenn, although this is the best place to farm Dittos, so if you do want to make some money, I would recommend you complete it. The Pokemon that are split in this route is Whismur, Ditto, and Loudred. So once you have a Ditto, you simply false swipe it. It will then transform into your Smeargle, and then you Spore it. Because of your safety goggles, if the Ditto uses Spore back on you, it will not affect you, and if it false swipes you, it can't kill you anyway. Now it's asleep, you just Dusk Ball it. Due to the recent change I mentioned earlier, it is about a 65% chance you catch it, which means that on average you will be using a lot more Dusk Balls than you get Dittos. And just like that, I got my first Ditto, and now you just repeat the process over and over again. If you want to be the most efficient Ditto farmer, I do recommend getting multiple Smeargles. The best Ditto farming setup would be 4 to 5 Smeargles and then a catching one. This is because in this location you do get hordes of Loudred, and if one of those Loudreds do end up shiny, you need a Pokemon to clear the rest of the horde so you're able to catch it. If you do not have Hoenn unlocked, you can also go to the spot in Johto. If you can get Hoenn complete, I don't recommend using the Johto spot, simply because the route isn't in a cave, which means you can't use Dusk Balls. Although the route is here, and if you do go here, the balls that you use are Ultra Balls and Dream Balls until you get up to 25 Ditto's core, and then you switch to Repeat Balls. But Dusk Balls are so much more efficient, and you will end up missing more Dittos than you do in the other spot, so I do recommend using the Hoenn spot. Although, if you do insist on using the Johto spot, start at Sea and Wood, you go into the cave, you then go through Cliff Edge Gate and come down Route 47 until you get to the cave. Now you go down the ladder, outside of the cave again, you surf on the water and go up. You then waterfall up this waterfall here, and this patch of grass here is where Ditto can be caught. The benefit of this location here is that it spawns better shinies in my opinion, and you can also hunt the dogs here while you're catching Dittos. This location has Pokemon like Miltank, Ditto, Farfetch'd, although it does have some awful ones such as Raticate and Fearow, so it is hit or miss. Dittos in this route also seem to be much rarer than the one in Hoenn, so you're going to get less Dittos on average, and they're also going to be harder to catch. Although, here is a Ditto on Route 47 to prove they existed. Out of curiosity, I've just looked up how much Smeargles would be for this method. This Smeargle here for 120k would be perfect for Ditto farming. So to get set up with Ditto farming, it would cost a Smeargle, which is about 150k from the looks of it, and then some safety goggles, which is about 61k. So in total, it would cost around 200k to get started with Ditto farming, although I assume that will be less than you get within the hour while Ditto farming. So if you're new to the game and you're looking for a good, consistent money making method, I would recommend using Dittos. That being said though, I'm going to start my 1 hour grind here and I'll see how much money it makes. Usually during these time lapses, I go through what Pokemon to use and exactly how the method works, although due to me already doing that and the fact that Chicken Pasta has a good video already out on it, I'm not going to do that on this one. I am going to ask that if you're enjoying this video, I would really appreciate if you subscribed. Looking at my analytics, 95% of people aren't subscribed, and I want to do one of those annoying YouTuber things and remind you guys in the video. So I just wanted to remind everyone to go down below and make sure you are subscribed, just in case you thought you were and you weren't. The video I uploaded before this video was also a passion project of mine. If you haven't seen it, it's a shiny recap video of my Team Brilliant. If you enjoy PokeMMO and you enjoy shiny hunting, I really think you would enjoy watching that video too. I'll also put that in the description. With all my self-promotion out of the way though, I'll just go straight to results. 1 hour test is finally over. Ditto farming doesn't feel that bad, honestly. It just feels like you're shiny hunting, especially with this Smeargle method where you don't really have to look at your screen when you get a Ditto. So I honestly didn't mind doing it. Although, with that being said, I think we should look at how many Dittos we got in that hour. So as you can see here, I almost filled up one box. I got 47 Dittos within the hour, which was as much as I was expecting really. If I sort these Dittos by IV, I had 1 2x31, and I got 13 1x31s. 1x31 Dittos aren't really worth selling unless it's on one of the main stats like attack, speed, or special attack. Although the market is changing quite often, so before you give away your 31 IV Dittos, please check the GTL to see if the 31 IVs are gone up in price. If we look now, for example, a 31 attack IV Ditto sells for about 7k, which is about 2.5k more than any normal Ditto. So a 31 attack IV Ditto is definitely worth selling individually. Although a 31 defense IV Ditto sells for about 5.5k, and taking away the 1k listing fee, that is just not worth it. So when I Ditto farm, I only really sell the attack, special attack, or speed IV Dittos, and the HP, defense, and special defense 31 IV Dittos I just put within the Ditto boxes, which I sell in bulk. Talking about the Ditto boxes, when you farm Dittos, you don't sell any Dittos on the GTL. This is because there's a 1k listing fee, which means selling Dittos one by one is just not very profitable. This is why people buy Ditto boxes in bulk. This saves you and them money when they're buying it to shiny hunt. If you have a Ditto box that you're wanting to sell, you either go into the trade menu here and advertise it, or you can go into Petrowski's Discord, which has a whole chat dedicated for Ditto boxes. When I finish Ditto farming, I always go through my boxes and make sure I don't have any Dittos that are worth a lot of money. You quickly do this by clicking auto sort at the bottom and clicking 31 IVs and total IVs. This will list your Dittos best to worst, putting the Dittos with multiple 31 IVs first. Usually the Dittos with multiple 31 IVs sell for the most, although when you're looking at your Dittos, it is always good to see if your 31 IVs correlate well with the nature. For example, a 31 attack IV Ditto right now sells for 5.5k. Although, if you have a 31 attack IV Ditto that also has adamant, it instantly jumps up to 36k. This is the same for modest and special attack, and if a Ditto is a 31 speed IV, any of the good natures also prices it up a fair bit. With modest and attack, they're both about 35k. Figuring out which Dittos are worth more and which Dittos aren't worth selling is really up to the market at the time, so please look at any Dittos that you think may be worth. And this is just a reminder to keep nature in mind when you're selling your Dittos. With that being said though, let's go into how much I made in total within that hour. So let's start off with price checking this 2x31. So a 31 defense and speed Ditto sells for about 39k. Unless the other IVs were above 25, you don't worry about them at all. For some reason right now the price of 31 special attack Dittos are quite cheap, so I'm not going to sell this one individually and instead going to sell it in bulk. Although this 31 attack IV Ditto is definitely worth selling individually. Although I'm going to look through all of my Dittos and list them one by one, and I'll be back once they're all listed and sold. Through my boxes, I found this 140 total IV Ditto. So while listing this, I'm just going to put all the IVs that have 20 in them, and as you can see, it's gone up by a few thousand. Looking at the price of Ditto boxes now, they sell for about 300k per box. This means every Ditto is valued around 5,000 coins. This means outside of all the Dittos I caught that were valued higher than 5,000 coins, I made 195,000 coins just from these Dittos alone. And just like that, all the Dittos I listed have now been sold for a grand total of 83,000 coins. Now, I listed some of those Dittos for a few thousand coins less than they're actually valued. This is simply because I'm making a YouTube video and I don't want to sit and wait for my Dittos to sell before I record this section. Although if you don't need the money right now and you don't mind waiting, you could have made a few thousand coins more than that. That means in total, within the hour, I made 278,000 coins from Dittos. Me getting that 2x31 was a bit lucky. From my experience, I get a 2x31 probably every 2 or 3 boxes. So me getting that was a bit lucky. Although if you're going to be Ditto farming for a long time, you're going to be getting Dittos like that, which will boost your hourly rate up a bit. So I feel like it's fair for me to include it on this one. Within that hour, I also used 65 Dusk Balls. This is because after they nerfed Soak, the chance of catching a Ditto is no longer like 90%, it goes down to about 65%. Which also means within that hour, I spent around 87k on Dusk Balls. That being said though, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have anything else in PokeMMO you would like me to test, comment it down below and I will try to make a video on it. Or any other suggestions or ideas that you can think of, let me know. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe and I will talk to you later.